join me watching a movie? Yeah, sure. But what types of movie we want to watch? Horror maybe? Yeah! This movie is so boring. Yeah, I think so. Sorry man, I think I want to surf an internet. Never mind, just go. May I can access PKS Wi-Fi. Can you try? Yeah, sure, I can. Wait a minute. Yeah, I also cannot access the PKS Wi-Fi. Oh.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now.
Could stick around and get along with you. Hello, oh, oh, oh.
Rita, what are you doing?
I'm searching movie. Why?
Can you try to log in PKS Wi-Fi? Because I was try it, but internet connection is too slow.
I will try to open some browser. The PKS Wi-Fi is too slow. It takes time for open the browser.
Why you too slow? You make me so stressed. Because of you, I can't finish my assignment. Stress.
Calm down, Yazid.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now.
Could stick around and get along with you. Hello, oh, oh, oh.
Yazid, what are you doing?
I'm jogging right now.
I think you're playing a game.
So what? Don't disturb me, okay?
I'm just asking you. Don't be mad.
So why? You jealous? Busybody.
Excuse me, hello. I'm not busybody, okay? And I'm not jealous with you. I'm also have a game, okay?
Whatever. What's going on? Why my PC suddenly shut down?
What's the problem of my laptop? Oh, I think it's so hot.
I think our CPU is overheat.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now.
So hello and welcome to this video about monitoring bandwidth with PRTG. My name is Kimberly Trommler. I'm a systems engineer at Pessler. And today I'm going to be going over with you what the four main methods are for bandwidth monitoring in PRTG, and then going into more detail on SNMP and WMI for bandwidth monitoring. And what I'd like to start with today is one of our knowledge base articles that gives you a really good summary of the four different methods. If you go to our website and search for bandwidth comparison, you will see this table here. And let me scroll down a little tiny bit for you. In the table, you can see what the four main methods are that PRTG offers. WMI for Windows machines, SNMP for anything that supports SNMP, packet sniffing, or flow sensors for network devices that support different versions of flow. If you go through the table in detail, you can see the different features of the different methods. Very roughly speaking, you can draw a line right down the middle of the table and say that the first two methods, SNMP and WMI, give you a good indication of the total volume or amount of traffic you have. They give you, total traffic basically at the layer 3 or IP level. How much traffic went through? Was it 100 meg? Was it 6 gig? Whatever. And will also give you an indication of layer 2 and 3 counters, like the number of errors you had, the number of broadcasts you had, and that kind of thing. The other half of this table, so the flows and the packet sniffers, let you look at the traffic at layer 4. So here you can see at the TCP or UDP port level what type of traffic you had. So it's not just you had 6 gig, but now within that 6 gig, so and so much was web traffic, so and so much was email, so and so much was FTP, etc. So that's the main critical difference between the left-hand and the right-hand side of this table. My focus today will be the SNMP and WMI sensors. There's a separate video that covers the flow and the packet sniffer sensors. Before we look at the sensors themselves, I'd like to give you an idea of the different types of bandwidth monitoring sensors that PRTG even offers. We have roughly 200 different sensor types. This list here are the ones that are relevant to bandwidth. If you look through the list, you can see some of them are very specific, say just for Fritz boxes. Then we have the flow and packet sniffer sensors, a few more specific SNMP sensors, and then the ones we're going to focus on today, the SNMP Armon and SNMP traffic sensors, and the Windows network card sensor. For each of these three, Armon, traffic, and Windows network card, I'm going to show you how to create a new sensor of that type and what the options are when you create the sensor, and then show you what it looks like once it's up and running. We're going to start with the SNMP traffic sensor because it's probably the most common sensor and also the easiest to set up. So there's different ways you can create a sensor. Today I'm going to do it by choosing a device in my device tree. I'm going to take a switch because then I have lots of ports. It's a little bit more interesting to look at then. And I'll scroll down to the bottom and click Add a Sensor. When you click Add Sensor, you initially get this huge long list of 200 sensor types. We'd like to limit that for today to bandwidth sensors and SNMP-based bandwidth sensors. And now here I have my SNMP traffic sensor. I'll click on that and let it start. So when it comes back, PRTG offers you the different ports that it found on this switch. It tells you whether they're connected or not, and it gives you a little bit more extra information. You can now choose whether you want all of the ports or only those that are connected. It's really up to you. For today, I'm going to pick just 2 of them that are both connected so that I know I'm going to get some data later. But you can go through the list and select as many or as few as you'd like. Then the next section of this page is important. These are the different channels you can choose. By default, if you don't select any of these channels, you will just get the total traffic and the traffic in and traffic out. If you'd like more detail than that, you can then choose some of these to be shown in addition to just the total traffic level. And then you can choose the connection status handling. This is what should PRTG do for disconnected ports. Do you want to get an alarm about them, or are they essentially irrelevant? You could toggle then what kind of action PRTG should take when a port becomes disconnected. If you'd like to, you can rename the channels here, but for today I'm going to leave them as the defaults, traffic in, out, and total. And I'm going to leave the rest as default and press continue. And when I get back to my device page, I scroll down and I see here in gray the 2 ports that I just picked. They're gray because they're still initializing. So let me take one and force it to update now so that we can see what happens when it runs. So there we go. The sensor has run once. It has collected the first little bit of data. What you see here is the main channel, the total traffic, and then the different channels that we selected when we created the sensor. If you'd like to, you can go in at any time and add the other channels or remove channels as needed. Now, since this sensor has only just started, it's not terribly interesting yet. It doesn't have much data. So let's take a minute and look at a sensor that has been running for a while. I'm going to go back to the same device again and pick a traffic sensor that is actually running and has some data. This one has been running. You see now we have graphs. I can look at the live data, which is the most recent measurements, the last day, the last month, and the last year. What I see on each of these graphs are the different channels that I had selected, and I can decide if that's too much information on a graph for me to add or subtract information as needed. To show you today in this video about bandwidth monitoring. If you'd like more detail about the NetFlow or packet sniffer sensors, there is a separate video about those. If you have any questions about bandwidth monitoring or anything else in PRTG, please feel free to contact us at any time at support@pessler.com. Thank you.